Hi, good afternoon. Welcome once again to Old Blackpool Biker. It's Monday. The reason I've come down to the prom, I've had loads of questions, loads of comments. Hey, Biker, why was it so busy on the Saturday night? Now, I have seen that so many people, it took them ages, hours and hours to get back home from that Saturday night. The M55 was blocked. Preston New Road was blocked. You know, there was so many things happening that meant that it took everyone so long to get home. Why was it so busy on that Saturday night? Just gone. Now, there were a couple of things really. Obviously, we're in illuminations. People are coming over for the illuminations. It's Saturday night. So, sorry about this. A bit of wind noise, a bit breezy. It's not bad though. It was meant to be raining right now, but the sun's trying to poke through them overcast skies. Yeah, so you've got a Saturday night in the illuminations. You wouldn't dream that it was so busy right now. We're at the same place now where you couldn't move. If you've not seen, have a look at my videos from previous. The last one, I think, I will try and put links on eventually. But yeah, it was just absolutely heaving. You could hardly move. I did a video over that side of the prom, and then we went right down and then crossed over to this side, and it was just about impossible to walk. It was incredible. If you've not seen that video, like I say, I will put a link. But coupled with what actually happened was the World Fireworks was on as well, and it was the USA. It was a brilliant night. Everyone really enjoyed it. It was cracking. You know, don't get me wrong at all. It was a great night. Great for Blackpool, to be fair. You know, for the some must have stopped over, so for the hotels, especially the burger bars. Harry Ramsden's. I've shown the massive queue outside of Harry Ramsden's, and Papa's over there, just on the corner at Papa's there. That was rammed. The burger bars. Chris must have been rammed. And then Prime Burger, it's lots of fun. When I walked past there was some you couldn't get past because we were just literally queuing right out from the burger joints, you know, on the prom. Right, that's strange that, because we're at the netting here and it's meant to stop. So the wind's actually coming from south to north by the feel of this at the moment. Yeah, so it was estimated that there was 300,000 here, and most of them was between Central Pier, you can see the wheel on it now, just there, bear with, Central Pier just there, and if I pan round, I'll try not to go too quick because we are zoomed in a little bit, so bear with, and North Pier just there. Most are within the piers, North Pier and the Central Pier. There's a Blackpool sign. Yeah, I'll just zoom out again. Just bear with me 1 minute. I'm just on the phone, so there's no special equipment on this one at all. I ain't got any anyway. Nah, Biker don't do that. Yeah, so that's what it was. There was estimated to be, some have said 50,000 were here, others have said 60,000, but I've seen estimated at 300,000. And it was just even, honestly, just have a look at the video, like I say, that was done on that side of the prom, and then we walked over to this side, and you can just see what it was like then for yourselves. You know, there's no arguments then, you can see. It was just absolutely rammed. Masses on the comedy carpet, and just down, I think I was round there when I videoed it, just about opposite the, I think I was, just about opposite the Albert and the Lion. Or I might have been near somewhere. It was so dark in places as well. But yeah, it was a cracking night. Like I say, what I've read up to now is 300,000, but that can change. But let's go on the premise that there were 300,000. So all the comments saying how difficult it was getting home, it will be. Trying to get down Preston New Road, whichever way you've gone, you know, and then onto the 55, all them it's just a bottleneck. All you have to do is hit a bit of roadworks. I did have a mate once that worked on the motorways, and he said you wouldn't believe, within a minute or so, you've got thousands of cars, hundreds of cars, you know what I mean, that are literally just hitting that same place at the same time. And if there's anything gone on, if there's a bit of an accident, don't take much, you know. If one lane's, then there's the rubbernecking that happens and what have you. He says that's it. It's a standstill a little bit further back. You know, because the brake lights come on, in front they might be doing 50, but that slows and slows and slows. And it just causes that to happen. So yeah, so what I was going to do was give a bit of advice really, what you can do. I'm walking this way now because the wind's behind me then, and you're not getting the wind noise. You could go down by the docks, you know, head for Preston and then onto the M6. That's what I do. Go up Squiresgate Lane or something like that. You can get onto Preston New Road, go into Preston that way, and then down by the docks at Preston. You can get that way as well, and then onto the M6. That's one way of doing it. But then you get the problem. If everybody's doing that, you know, it's the same old, isn't it? It's never going to be easy when it's been so busy. And it really was seriously rammed. It was packed solid. I know sometimes I've put that before, but it's relevant, isn't it? It's relevant to what it was or has been. But you look at it now and you just think, we're on a Monday, it's coming up for about 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Monday. You can see what it's like right now. It's really, really, really quiet. There's a few around obviously, but nothing like what we had at the weekend. Even when I did a like a build up to the firework display, and even then it was mobbed, it was packed then, and that must have been about 5 o'clock. The fireworks didn't actually go off till 8:30. Obviously, you know, you have to have it dark enough, and then you have to set up and what have you. I did show a bit on one of the videos I did where they try to get everybody off the beach because it was low tide. Obviously, they would send, you know, all the fireworks off from the beach around about this area, but on the beach, obviously. So yeah, that's what had happened. Basically, it was just the two. It's illuminations time. It's busy anyway on a Saturday. You'll come down on a Saturday and you can see all the traffic on the prom, which is another issue. You know, you know, I've said before that they widened the prom in the 50s and the 60s, and then what happens then? Well, I tell you what, let's narrow it. Let's make it narrower. Even though there's twice as much traffic on now as there was back in the day in the 50s and 60s, maybe more than that. You know, I ain't got the official figures or anything like that. But yeah, you can appreciate, and everyone trying to get out at that same time. It just causes a nightmare. It really does, and I feel for everyone that was stuck in that traffic, because honestly, I pull my hair out when I'm stuck in traffic. I used to travel the country, as a lot know, doing sales calls and what have you. I was down in Devon, I was in West Yorkshire and what have you. You know, I've been on the East Coast, Flamborough Head area I used to go to now and again, you know, on the East Coast, down round. But I've not really been. I was saying to a friend of mine that was born in Robin Hood's Bay area, and I've passed many a time, you know, Brid and what have you, Scarborough, like I say, Flamborough Head, which is a cracking area if you've ever been down the East Coast. And obviously Devon, everyone knows it. I love Devon, East Devon especially, you know, Sidmouth, Seaton, Beer, Teignmouth, and then obviously down to South Devon, Torquay and Torbay area. Love that, getting on the Western Lady over to Brixham. you can't go wrong, and I promise I'm getting down there this next summer. But yeah, so it's just amount of people trying to get out at the same time. That's what it is. And I know some comments were saying, well, the easiest thing would just be stop the night, you know, but then that's other problems, isn't it, when you need to get home and what have you, and there's things that you have to do. It's easy saying, you know, stop the night, but that would be the easiest thing you could do if you can, you know, if life allows or circumstances allows for people to do it, is actually stop the night. You know, book a B&B. There are some good. I know we've seen some horrendous reviews lately of hotels and B&Bs in Blackpool, but they're not all like that, you know. There's people come out from out of town, you know, and they're just doing these reviews to get a, you know, some are, I'm not saying everybody, don't get me wrong, some do the good and the bad, you know, Katie does, you know, so, you know, it's what it is, to be honest. You know, some of the reviews, don't get me wrong, some of the reviews are fair, and they are, you know, they have come legitimately to stop, and others have seen somebody done a review, oh, this is terrible, and then go, oh, I'm going to go to Blackpool and do a review on that, I'll get views, you know. You know, the worst hotel ever and all that sort of thing. We've all seen them. You know, I've never personally done outlet. I always show, I'll try and show the good and the bad of Blackpool, and there's both. And there isn't any town in this country, in any country, you know what I mean, any town, there's good and bad. There is. I can take you to the back streets now, show you boarded up, this, that and the other, and I will now and again. Because that's the truth, that's what it is. But oh, Blackpool biker. Are you alright? Yeah.
Brilliant, thank you.
Have a good one, mate. Sorry, just asking me who are you? Yeah, so there's good and bad, obviously, no matter where you go, no matter which town, let's be honest, let's be serious, and there is. But like I say, on how many messages and emails I've had saying, why was it so busy? Not just Finland, on the Finland one 2 weeks prior, it was rammed that night as well, but it must have been, it was literally so much busier Saturday just gone, really was. I'll just show you the sea while we're out here. High tide, obviously. It's not that high, you can tell with the North Pier at the end. And the waves are coming in though. Yeah, so it's one of them, and it's obvious. So many people leaving at the same time. I remember when I passed my test, what was I, 17, so we're going back to 1984, something like that. I was born in Sutton-in-Ashfield, Nottinghamshire, and I'd pop back every now and again. And I could do it then with the older technology cars, let's say an old Ford Escort or whatever I had at the time. I had an old Ford Orion for a while. And I could get back, going the way we used to go from Blackpool down, if you're going down to Mansfield area, you'd go the 55, M60, 61, you know what I mean, M61, then down to the M62, and pick up the M1. Down around Leeds area, you'd pick up the M1. But nowadays, it takes a good, what, 3/4 of an hour longer than what I could do. Yeah, maybe drove a bit faster in them days, you know, when you're a young man, and when you get to my age now, you're not driving as fast, don't get me wrong. But even saying that, no, it takes, it's probably an hour longer now. Because when I was living in the Leeds area, in Driglington, just outside of Morley, if you know, West Yorkshire, Leedsy area. What's wrong with all you? Yeah, Driglington's just out of there, so I was straight on the road network, you know, the motorway networks, the 62, the M1, whichever way you're going, the A6 if you're going up to Thirsk and, you know, that sort of way. But yeah, but going down the Mansfield way, you can go Manchester to pick the Snake Pass up around Manchester area, and that brings you out at Sheffield onto the M1, and that's the way I would go now. to be honest, the Snake Passway, come out at Sheffield area, down the M1. I forget what junction it is to the M1, 28, something like that, is it? Something like that. Yeah, so sorry for waffling on, but it's the network nowadays. What I was going to say was, though, when I was living in Driglington, they were doing the M62 and doing the smart motorway at the time, which slowed everything down. It did. You know, I know a lot will say, yeah, you know, it's 50 because, but I've known it going over the Pennines, and, you know, heading towards, you know, where a lot, if you're over that way, if you've ever gone down the M62, do you know where the farmhouse is in the middle of the motorway? Right. As you're going down there, and it's like 50. Why is it 50? There's hardly anybody here. I can appreciate when it's packed, don't get me wrong, because it does get rammed round there, you know, coming up through Huddersfield area. And it does get mobbed. It does. But they'll still have the 50 signs on. If you go over, there you go, there's 3 points on your licence, mate. Thank you very much. So anyway, I'll stop waffling now and just say, the reason it's just the amount of traffic, and the networks aren't meant for it. We're still in the 50s. You know, they've not altered that much, the motorway networks. The M6, the longest motorway in the country. You know, that's... I used to hate when I was travelling all over the country on appointments and what have you. You know, the M6 on a Friday, when you finish work and you think, oh God, I've got to hit the M6 yet. My God, it's just the fear of in you at times. And then when sat-navs came out and you could see all the red all the way back up to Preston area, up the M6, you know, before you pick up the 55 into Blackpool, you just go, oh my God. You really would. Anyway, so that's what it's down to. I'm sorry it took... the amount of people that said we were... Stoke, I think one person went to, and I think they got back at about 3 in the morning, set off at about 9:20, was it? You know, not exact figures, but roughly-ish. I know Stoke's a way down, don't get me wrong, but at that time of night you wouldn't expect it to take too long. It was just sheer traffic on the 55. Not meant for it, is it? Anyway, like I said, hope everyone was alright though, you know, and got home safely and everything. But, you know, you do know, don't you, that the road networks aren't meant for the traffic that's on it nowadays. I think that's what it's down to. And even try to get out of Blackpool, go down Park Road ways, you know, Central, whichever way you're going, it's going to be rammed. Anyway, time to stop waffling. So I'm going to probably call this one 300,000 to send on Blackpool for one night only, but trying to get home that night. And it was a different matter for people. Well, right, most of all, stay safe. You know what it is. Have a cracking day.